They each fought for their country, but died in a war that was not theirs. The 3 British military veterans who'd been providing security for aid workers are now en route to the UK. Their families say they return as heroes. James Kirby, a former army sniper, remembered today by his cousins.
It's just devastating that he's fought in these wars and come home with not a scratch, and he goes out to do something, you know, helpful.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
He knew he had to go. His friends were telling him that this was probably a bad place to go, but he knew he had to go and help people, and that was James all over. He just didn't think of himself, and I think on his past experiences of going to Afghanistan and Bosnia, he knew the dangers. He was no fool in that regard, but he just knew he had to help people.
James was among 7 aid workers killed in an Israeli airstrike while delivering food to besieged Palestinians. Alongside him was James Henderson, who'd served for 6 years in the Royal Marines and was remembered today in his hometown of Falmouth.
If you were one of his people, he would die for you. And he's such a beautiful, beautiful part of all of our lives.
And John Chapman, a former Special Forces commando who joined the military from school. In a statement, his family said, "We're devastated to have lost John, who was killed in Gaza. He died trying to help people and was subject to an inhumane act. He was an incredible father, husband, son and brother. He was loved by many and will forever be a hero. He will be missed dearly."
I just hope this is a turning point in the world now and what's happening in Gaza. I don't want to make a political thing of it, but we just hope that world leaders can get together and help these people.
Israel says the strike was unintended, but the British government wants to know more.
I spoke to Prime Minister Netanyahu last night and was very clear with him that the situation is increasingly intolerable, and what we urgently need to see is a thorough, transparent investigation into what has happened.
Labour also wants an investigation. The Lib Dems go further.
I really think now is the time to end British exports of arms to Israel. It does look like Israel has broken humanitarian law.
One thing that will be impacted is aid. Multiple charities are to suspend food deliveries to the Palestinians. But the security firm where the soldiers worked says it hopes to continue its work.
Everything that we did was as much as we could do. Our staff continue to be professional and focused on the task in hand, and we will continue business as usual.
This was an international relief team. Zomi Franken, an Australian, Jacob Flickinger, an American-Canadian. It all adds to the global pressure on Israel to explain why more than 200 aid workers have been killed in this conflict.